Today we're going to begin making our sculpture of our monster out of paper mache. And I'd like to show you how to get started. So first, we're going to need a couple pieces of tape. In order to get our tape, remember, we grab a piece. I need a fairly long piece of tape. I'm going to put my 2 thumbs along the top edge here. I'll pull 1 thumb up and 1 thumb back, and it tears the tape very easily. So I'll place that tape on the edge of my table so that I can use it later. I'm gonna get myself 2 or 3 pieces of tape. I'm just placing those on my table so that when I need them, I can use them. Next, I'm going to take a piece of newspaper and I'm going to crumple it up into a ball. I don't have to squeeze it too hard. This is pretty good. And I think I'm going to use another piece of newspaper and crumple it around the first to make it even bigger. So I'll take my next piece of newspaper, place my first piece inside, and wrap it around. Now is when the tape is going to come in handy. I'll grab one of my pieces of tape, stick one end to the ball, and wrap the tape all the way to the other end. Now I'm going to take another piece of tape and kind of make an X. What I'm trying to do is make sure that there's no pieces of newspaper that are flying up and coming undone. So I'll use all 3 pieces of tape to make sure my ball stays in the correct shape. Now this is going to be the shape of my monster's body. So now I'm ready to paper mache. Now that I'm ready to paper mache, it might be someone's job to grab a container of paper mache glue. The word mache actually means glue in French. You're also going to choose a color bulletin board paper. And there's lots of different colors that you can choose from. And the first thing I need to do is tear my paper into pieces that are about the size of my hand, maybe a little bit smaller. So I need a bunch of pieces of paper, and this is what I'm going to cover my sculpture with. Now comes the fun part. I'm going to get a piece of paper. I'm going to use my fingers and dip my fingers into the glue. Then I'm going to spread the glue on the entire piece of paper, on the front and on the back. I want the entire piece of paper to be shiny. If there's areas that are not shiny, then you need to add a little bit more glue. Now I'm going to take that piece of paper and rub it onto my newspaper ball. Then I'll repeat that process again. So cover the front, cover the back, and lay the colored paper onto the ball and give it a little massage. Ha! So I'm going to do that for my entire newspaper ball. Now, even though I've covered my entire ball with paper mache, I'm going to continue adding pieces of paper onto it. A second or even third layer will make my sculpture even stronger and sturdier. Once I get to my last piece of paper, I notice I have some glue on the table. So an easy way to clean up our table is just to wipe that last piece of paper on the table to pick up any of the drippy glue. Add that piece to the ball, and then I'm ready to put this in a place to dry. Now, Mr. Rudiger will probably give you a name tag which you can glue onto your sculpture as well, so we'll know whose is whose. Next week, we can add some details to our monster.